Hi there YouTube, Extreme Trains here. So I know I sound a bit under the weather and that's because I am, but I didn't want to wait to show you some of the new items that I picked up in this next little series of reviews because they're the kind of thing which I can imagine plenty of people are wondering if they should go into Christmas stockings. And the Thomas distribution, as we have talked about both on this channel and many other Thomas and Friends channels, is shocking. Mattel's ability to get products onto shelves was good, I think, at the very start of AEG and has very quickly fallen off again. So I wanted to get these reviews out ASAP so people in Australia who are seeing these items could have a better idea as to whether or not there's something they want to either add to put onto their own Christmas stocking or for someone else. So what are we waiting for? In the next couple of reviews, we're going to be taking a look at the most recent color changing engines which have landed on our Australian shores. And the first one we're looking at today is this one. It is the circuit board Thomas. I don't know what the official names of any of these are, and I haven't been able to find anything that says what their official names are, but yes, he seems to show circuit boards, and it's another one of the single pack color changes. What are we waiting for? Let's do it. Okay, so these packaging designs are pretty much exactly the same in terms of the style that we saw from the other engines. Now, I know in my previous video, we looked at the color changing engines. I did look at the 3-pack, but you are able to get those 3 engines in separate packs, and they had very similar packaging. But you can see Thomas has got a design here which is meant to match the color changing thing. It seems like he's kind of in between colors at the moment, which is interesting. So I'm not sure what happened to him in his packaging, but otherwise you can see we got the color changes in hot or cold water. Now this one's interesting because it seems like he's essentially a normal Thomas when it's cold, and he becomes circuit board Thomas when he's hot. So I'm curious to see exactly how this is going to work, and something that I have observed with this Thomas here, which we've already reviewed, is I've had him sitting on my desk. You can see some of that yellow stuff still there. I've had him sitting on my desk here in Sydney, Australia, and it has been very hot for some days and then very cold. And you can see kind of by himself, he will just change in the ambient temperature. So there's nothing, you don't need the water per se to actually make these change color, which originally I thought maybe something that the water kind of locked the color change. No, it can just be the ambient temperature. So if you live in an environment where you get some real hot and real cold, you will see these things change by themselves, which appears to be what's already happened to this Thomas here. But anyway, without further ado, let's crack him out and take a look. All right, we'll do the little spin. Thomas on the bottom. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is that this is a really shiny kind of metallic-y paint job that he's got on here. I really like it. It's really grabbing me. My eyes are really drawn to the kind of metallic sheen. The other thing I'm noticing is he's got this extra riveting detail on him, which I'm not sure if this is meant to be part of the design or they're going to do this for all of them going forward. I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to wait and see. You can see he's got these wheels which seem to be kind of the color changer wheels. A lot of the engines who are in the color changers line seem to have these rainbow wheels. They seem to change the back color, but again, that's another good example. This one, which is very different in terms of what its color changing is, has that very similar pattern on the wheels. So it seems like this is a bit of a common theme to have these colored wheels on the engines, regardless kind of what the actual change is up the top. We get a very nice Thomas face. You can see he's kind of a bit puffed with the rosy cheeks, but again, I think it's great, and I'm really glad that they're leaning into the fact that they can really mix up the faces on these AEG engines. I'm really just waiting for them to do that a bit more with Thomas Wooden Railway. There's so much opportunity for them to do that with that line as well. But yeah, otherwise you can see he seems like he's in a bit of an in-between state. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start to see if we can get him back to his original color, which is meant to be just that ordinary Thomas blue, although I think it might be a bit metallic. And then once we've done that, we'll change him so we can see more of this circuit board coloring and how exactly that's all supposed to work. So I'm going to get some water and let's do it. Okay, I've had this Thomas in some ice water for some time and he doesn't seem to have gotten any bluer. So this appears to be as blue as he gets, which is certainly, it's what I would call a gray blue. I wouldn't call this the bright blue, particularly not the blue that you can see here on the packaging. That blue is like a proper normal Thomas. This is not that, and you can still see the imprint of the circuitry on there. He has got the rosy cheeks, which I've now realized is what his cold version is meant to do. But yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know if this is like mine is defective or if it's false advertising. I don't know what's going on there. The color change doesn't seem to be quite doing what we thought it was going to. So what I'm going to do now is get some hot water onto Thomas and see if he changes to something that's a lot more gray, which then might explain why the blue is not so blue. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, and this is now the hot version of Thomas. You can see it is different. We can see now the gray and the circuit board and the cheeks have gone away from being red. But it's certainly not my favorite. You can all sign off down in the comments below, but this is not as much of a change, especially because you can see the circuit board when he's in the blue mode. So I don't quite like this one. Certainly my least favorite of all three of the color changing Thomases I've looked at so far. Oh, sorry, not least favorite. Tied least favorite with this one here. The favorite is still that winter one by a country mile, and I really think they're going to have to do a lot of work to top that. But otherwise, that's what he looks like. I paid us 10 Australian dollars for him as an individual engine. Again, that's about a $3 or $4 Australian markup on what the individual engines cost. So these are a bit more expensive, but I have seen the multi-pack, 3-pack of the color changing engines on special. So there's potentially an opportunity to get some of those original first wave of color changes. But otherwise, I think, you know what, it's fine, but I think they could probably focus more on just putting out more engines and more characters and not worrying so much about these, not worrying so much about these. But we've still got more to review in this series, so stick around for the next videos to see those ones as well. They may change my mind. Alright, thanks everyone for watching. That's all we've got time for. This is Extreme Trains.